Well, howdy there, guys, out in Carnivore land. How's it going? I'm hiding outside in the 1,000-degree weather because the kids are inside being loud. So I just needed a break to walk outside. For those of you who don't know, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I help my wife with a couple of businesses that we own, but mostly take care of the kids. It's a full-time job. It's not an easy job. So I make videos and try to share some information that I think is helpful. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But it's fucking hot. So every morning in Arizona, they like on the news or the I don't know, news stations will say, "Oh, there's a heat advisory warning." You're like, "Well, no shit. We live in Arizona. It's fucking hot. Can't wait till we get out of here. We're ready to leave Arizona for sure." What was I going to talk about today? Sleep, big, huge issue for a lot of people. I get so many responses when the people say, "Oh, what do you do right before bed, or do you eat before bed? Do you not eat before bed?" It's very complicated on Carnivore, actually. It's probably one of the things I hate about Carnivore is, if I had to pick one, is the sleep challenges and like figuring out how to what time to go to bed. And for some people, I guess it doesn't bother them, but from day one, I started, I noticed that I had a decline in amount of sleep. My Oura ring says that I get less deep sleep. I have been able to manipulate that and do certain things, which is what I kind of wanted to talk about. The first thing is playing around with what time you eat. If you eat too late, your body's gonna, work really hard to break down that food, and you're not gonna be able to sleep. If you eat too early, your body's gonna be stressed out because you don't have any. You're signaling to your body that you're in a stress state, and your cortisol can go up because you don't have any food. So it's kind of a hit or miss, and it seems to happen more with Carnivore. I used to fast before, and I never had this issue. So, there's some things that I've done. I've tried everything from like having a little bit of fruit before bed. I've tried, eating right before bed. I've tried not eating, a couple hours before, and I've tried red light or blue light blocker glasses. I have those. I've been using those a lot. What? There's one thing that works, and you know what? The Carnivore police are probably going to yell at me for this, but I'm making a video, though. Banging on the door. Let me talk to Dad. Coconut water. Yes, I know there's sugar in it. Yes, I know that there's 7 grams of sugar or whatever it is per 8 ounces. 6 ounces of coconut water, and I've only discovered this the last few days, right? It actually cures the heart palpitation thing that I was getting. I don't get up 15 times to pee, and I stop eating at like 2 or 3. So I had my last meal about 3 o'clock. These kids. What are you doing? What? I'm making a video. You want to see? I see these guys. Can you see them? Banging on the door there. I want to talk to Dad. And then Dad's gonna get mad because he's gonna have to wipe that up. I hate fingerprints on glass. It just drives me nuts. What was I talking about? Yeah, so at 7:30, I go to bed every night at 8 o'clock. For those of you who don't know, I know that's kind of lame, but even on a Friday and Saturday night, we go to bed at 8 o'clock. I wake up at 5, I get stuff done, but at 7:30, 6 ounces of coconut water. It's just enough of an insulin spike to, it's a small insulin spike, and I'm not afraid of especially not coconut water, because there's not very many. There's probably a few toxins in there, but not too much. But it actually, the last 3 nights that I've been doing, I think it's been 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights. My deep sleep. The first night, I almost got 3 hours of deep sleep, which has never happened in my entire life. So on a carnivore diet with 6 ounces of coconut water, I was able to get almost 3 hours of deep sleep, the most my Oura ring has ever registered. Second night was like 2.5. Third night was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think there's like different things that change, but the fact is I never get that before. I was always getting about an hour to an hour and a half of deep. So now I'm well over 2 hours every single night. I don't know what it is, right? Maybe it's your brain likes the glucose. It could be the potassium. I supplement with potassium, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. They're like, I think they're called 4,000 volts. Zoe, I'm making a video. Stop. You keep saying Daddy's not going to help, okay? Jesus. Go drink your water. You have water right there. You guys get to see me yell at my kids all the time. It's kind of funny. But you know, I don't know. They get yelled at a lot less than I did. I got yelled at a lot when I was growing up, for sure. Um, but yeah, so 6 ounces of coconut water, 30 minutes before bed. For me, it's 30 minutes before bed. I'm not watching TV. I'm not playing on my phone the last couple hours of a day. I'm not eating late. But I mean, for me to get the most deep sleep I've ever gotten on my Oura Ring, I've had an Oura Ring for, I don't know, 3-4 years probably. I don't know how long. It's been a long time. I feel like it's been a long time. But yeah, to get the most deep sleep I've ever gotten, pretty remarkable for 6 ounces. I mean, that's less than 7 grams of sugar. You know, whatever it is, fructose, glucose. I think it's like 35% fructose. The rest is glucose, but it seems to work. So yes, the carnivore police are gonna get mad, and you know, but it's just I don't do the fucking dogmatic shit anyway. I mean, I just know that meat only works for everything else. So if you know a couple ounces of coconut water fixes something for me, then whatever. I know that fruit doesn't. I don't respond well to fruit by itself for some reason. I had blood work done because I've experimented and I've said, okay, let me try a week of doing this or a week of doing that, and one of them was to try to fix the heart palpitations, which I was getting at the gym. You know, and it's Paul Saladino. I mean, I agree with some of his stuff. It's like I know that the sugar kind of calms you down and makes you feel safe and whatnot, but eating, you know, 3 or 4 different servings of fruit with every meal and eating it with the meat, I just don't agree with that. I mean, for me, that doesn't work. I had, was it a couple weeks ago? I had 2 kiwis, or one. Maybe it was 1 kiwi. It was the 2 halves of kiwi. I split them in half and like eat them with a spoon. And I had blood work done the next morning. My triglycerides were 275. Okay, so they tripled, and I'm the only sugar that I had in that whole 2-week period. I was getting blood work done every 2 weeks, was those kiwis. So for some reason, kiwis decided to jump my triglycerides as if I was like, I've had those kind of high triglyceride measures before, and it was from eating pizza every day, so it was kind of weird why my body would decide to do that. If any of you guys understand that, tell me why that I would get that kind of in all my previous blood work, my triglycerides were fine, so it's kind of a weird thing. But this is the thing: experiment. Like, don't listen to everybody say, "Oh, you can't have this, you can't have this." Like, for me, the fruit doesn't really work for helping me sleep. That didn't do anything. I just found out on my 23andMe that I'm pretty sure I'm lactose intolerant, just genetically, because I stopped cream and all that stuff. That had to go. So it's not that. I mean, just meat is not going to raise triglycerides, because it's always been low. So it's kind of a weird thing. But we'll see what my blood work says with this coconut water thing. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad. But my brain sure seems to like it. It likes to go into deep sleep now. But I know a lot of guys have these problems, especially after the first 3 months of carnivore. I never had any of these things. It was like a little less sleep, but I woke up feeling rested, so it was fine. But the heart palpitations and things that I've been experiencing, it's very similar to what Paul Saladino was talking about. He was also talking about this like feeling when you're falling asleep of like falling, like right before you fall asleep, you'd feel like you were falling. I don't ever get that, but I have gotten that, but it was usually from drug use. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that you got to try things out, and if you're having trouble sleep, I think sleep's super important. If you got to sacrifice 7 or less than 7 grams of sugar for a better night's sleep, that's not going to kill you. The average person gets like, in America, it's like 40 grams of sugar for breakfast. So you're talking not enough to do anything. Your body is well equipped to handle the sugar from that and actually get it out of your body. That's what insulin's for. And maybe it is good to have an insulin spike. Who knows? We don't really know. I do what works, and if it works for me and I'm feeling good, which I am, I have plenty of energy. I stopped coffee again for the 3rd time. Every time I stop coffee, I'll go a month without it, and then I'll just have one little sip and then bam, right back. So this is like the 3rd month I've been off of coffee, or close to a month now. So I haven't had any coffee, and that also helps your sleep for sure. I know that will affect it, but man, try what works. Don't listen. And the thing is that what works for Joe is not going to work for Sally. It's not. So we have to get past that. What I like to do is to learn from as many people as possible. Like you're like listening to my story. Well, I'm listening to 10 other people's story and comparing it to mine. I'm not saying, well, I'm going to do what all those people do. What I'm doing is I'm saying, how does their story, like, which one of my stories sounds more similar to theirs, right? Because maybe my genetics are similar to this person's. So there's just so many things that we have to. God damn, it's hot. Whew. I need a fan. There's no fan on our patio out here. This is my favorite spot though, because I'm right next to. See, we got the Weber, we got the Auto, and then we have a Pit Boss back there. I'm trying to stay away from the smoked meats for a while. I don't know, they kind of make me feel a little funny. But yeah, the Weber is my favorite. I love that grill. But you know, you guys gotta make it work for you. Don't listen to everybody else and think that that's the way it's supposed to be, because you gotta trial, figure out stuff. Sleep's super important. I think it's like one of the most important, especially if you want to put on weight and in the gym. If you're stressed out from lack of sleep, you're not going to build muscle. If you got high cortisol levels, you're not going to build muscle. And carnivore can cause high cortisol, especially at night. If you're getting up to pee 2 or 3 times a day at night, that's cortisol. Cortisol wakes you up to go pee. Cortisol will wake you up when your blood sugar drops too low because you haven't anything to eat. So there's a balance of finding what time do I eat to where, you know, the meat will bump your sugar a little bit, but do I have enough to, you know, get me through the night? So you got to play around with those numbers. But I think the coconut water for me is like, it's gold. It works 3 nights in a row. If it stops working, I'll let you know. But as of right now, that little bit of just a small drink, it's Costco organic coconut water. It's nothing special, you know. Probably organic. I don't know if you need to have organic coconut, but man. Anyway, well, I want you guys to, you know, learn as much as possible, figure out what works for you, and you know, do the best you can at figuring these things out, and learn from as many people as possible. I would love to see somebody like Paul Saladino and Dr. Chafee, like not hack it out, but just, you know, discuss both of their methods and why one works for one and not the other, and we just kind of see, you know, I think that would help a lot of people figure out where their stuff is at. So we will talk to you guys another time. We'll probably make a video with the wife this weekend, so we'll with Dr. Solt, we'll get some interesting information out there. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, like the video, share it on your YouTube, or your share it on your, you know, Facebook groups. If you're not in a Facebook group for carnivore, I think they're excellent. I got a very positive group. Nobody's gonna put you down. Nobody's gonna call you names. If people are really rude, nobody's, you know, a lot of those groups you post the wrong thing and you just like get chastised for stupid shit. And it's like there's always some idiot on there that thinks they know everything and they don't. So my group's not like that. It's Carnivore, harder, happier, healthier. Please, you know, please join. You know, there's a lot of people in there. There's 15-year carnivores in there. There's people that got a lot of really good information that might help you out. If you ask a question, I know they do. They helped a lot of people. There's a lot of like testimonies of people that have, you know, life-changing stuff on there from carnivore. So it's there to help people. But we'll talk to you guys another time. See ya.